people just a few more minutes and then we will get into it. But I'll go ahead and introduce myself in the meantime as we are letting people join. I am Megan Sullivan. I'm the creative director at Next New Marketing. We are a platinum agency located in Florida, and we're platinum HubSpot agency. So we help alongside of HubSpot to co-host some of the content for marketers events as well as the study group. I've been working in HubSpot CMS, now Content Hub, for a little over 8 years now. So I primarily lead the website department along with kind of building some landing page, different assets for my team. So pretty much eat, sleep, and breathe all things Content Hub. And I'm really passionate about the tool and how we can use it. Okay, seeing some coupon questions. I'm indexing that for my end. Thank you, Alex. Keep your questions coming. We're definitely going to have a lot of time for Q&A. So I'll try to get to everything that I can. What you're at right now is a Content Hub for Marketers event. We try to host a couple a quarter, and we host a more longer form. So that's what you're at right now, this hour-long hug, where we talk a little bit more in depth about a specific topic, like today, WordPress and HubSpot. Then we also host 30-minute just office hours where we just kind of create space for you guys to come in, ask questions, tell us what you're struggling with, tell us what's frustrating for you within Content Hub, tell us where your wins are within Content Hub. Really, we just want to facilitate a community of marketers and people using HubSpot and HubSpot Content Hub to learn how to do better marketing together. If you're not already a part of the HubSpot Content Hub for Marketers study group, I would highly recommend you joining. It is basically just a forum where you have questions like your coupon question, Alex, you can post it in there, and then other HubSpot Content Hub users who have solved for that in the past can comment. We monitor that forum as well as some HubSpot team members and product members as well. So really great place to go, share your frustrations, share your wins, and so we can all do better marketing, better utilizing HubSpot together. But again, thank you guys so much for joining us today with your Thursday afternoon. I'm really excited to have you here, and hopefully you guys leave today with some good insights. Agenda for today's conversation is going to be all about WordPress, HubSpots, the difference between kind of the two platforms, how they're set up to be used, going through some of the main things people typically look for when they're looking for a CMS to build sites or site pages on. We're going to talk about what might be best for you. So I know a lot of you guys are already probably have your main site on WordPress and then are using HubSpot maybe for your CRM or for landing pages, blogs, etc. So how to decide if you're considering moving your full site into HubSpot, if that might be a good fit for you, why HubSpot wins for us. So again, this is not necessarily an unbiased conversation. We are pro HubSpot Content Hub and recommend it for all of our clients just because we've seen the success that it can generate and just kind of the friction that it can reduce with a lot of the issues that we see come from WordPress users over time. And then again, we'll have a section for using both solutions, which sounds like a lot of you guys are going to fall into that category. So if you are using some sort of Frankenstein experience where you have CRM, landing pages, etc., hosted in HubSpot, and then your main site or maybe your membership portal or whatever hosted in WordPress, how you can utilize them both to have the most powerful kind of cohesion between the two tools that you can. And then at the end, we'll have some time for Q&A. So I will try to circle back to as much of you guys' questions as I can. So please pop them in the chat as I'm speaking. If there's anything specific I say that you have a question about, pop it in the chat. I'll also throw my email in here as well. I'll do that now. So if you guys have any questions that I do not get to and you want to reach out to me personally, feel free to. I'll do my best to answer them or get you in touch with someone who could answer those questions on their end. Yes. Yep. I'm liking the chat conversations that are happening right now. Going to definitely be on track with conversations today. So WordPress versus HubSpot, we're going to go over some kind of the major differences, major categories that people look for again when choosing a CMS. A lot of you guys will be very familiar with these. If you're a strong WordPress lover, curious, would love to hear any comments, feedback in the chat if your opinion differentiates from any of the things I'm sharing here again. So at a glance, WordPress is going to be your more true website hosting platform. So it's an open source content management system, highly customizable, widely used. This is going to appeal to those looking for maximum flexibility, who are maybe more comfortable managing a complex system. As you know, WordPress, you got to deal with a lot of plugins, a lot of external tools that you're kind of embedding into the site. And it can be a little bit more technically heavy to be able to launch and implement what you're wanting to do inside of HubSpot. It sometimes can win out in the low cost option. However, HubSpot's getting more and more price friendly, even on their website side with a free version of the Content Hub. And then you can start on Content Hub Starter for as low as $25 a month. So it doesn't always win out there, but definitely WordPress can seem like the cheaper option. Although once you kind of get into some of the plugins, not always the case. HubSpot is going to be your true all-in-one CRM. So it's going to be your kind of this all-in-one platform where you can have CRM, built-in CMS, marketing automation, sales tools, service tools, etc. The whole gamut all under one hood, where WordPress is going to be more of your traditional website hosting platform to host content, blogs, e-commerce pieces, etc., membership portals inside of WordPress. HubSpot's going to appeal to businesses that are more focused on marketing, sales, and CRM integration, especially those who are looking for this easy to use, easy to manage all-in-one platform where you can really get this full picture of what's going on your site, because you've got emails, you've got CRM, you've got all of this data talking to each other in one location without having to do a bunch of custom dashboards or use a bunch of custom plugins. So when we talk about ease of use, I'm hearing some of you guys say this on your end as well, that WordPress, we typically see a little bit of a steeper learning curve, especially when you're getting into edit, update pages, etc. It requires more management. So you've got plugins and hosting that you need to update and be on top of to make sure that you've got the latest and greatest version of any of the tools that you're using within WordPress. This WordPress support primarily happens through community forums and developers. I would say HubSpot wins out, in my opinion, and again, I'm biased by a landslide when it comes to ease of use. HubSpot in 2020 released their brand new drag and drop editor for all of their website pages. So this is going to function. Again, you can kind of get this with tools like Elementor inside of WordPress, where you can get a little bit more of that ease of use editing functionality. We have seen, just the way those are coded, some issues with page speed, etc. with some of those tools. But again, you do get some of that easier editing experience inside of WordPress. HubSpot now with their drag and drop editor has made that really user-friendly right out of the box when putting together website pages, landing pages, etc., which we're really excited about, and we've seen unlock a lot of things for marketing and sales teams who are not feeling as handicapped by developers being in the HubSpot Content Hub. Again, it's an all-in-one platform, so you don't need to manage your hosting and or your plugins. And then they've got really great customer support. So I don't know if any of you guys have spent some time with HubSpot chat support, but they are on it, and they're really helpful and usually very quickly responsive for any kind of issues you have as you're in the platform. Again, this is kind of WordPress under the hood. This is the traditional editor. If you're using Divi or Elementor, you might be seeing something that's a little bit more user-friendly when you're editing, but you can obviously access content blocks, access editing blocks in the back end. But if you're really wanting to make any comprehensive page changes, you typically are going to have to mess with at least a little bit of HTML, CSS. And then obviously they do have a flexible layout, but sometimes you need some of those external tools to set yourself up for the easiest editing as far as page editing updates inside of WordPress. HubSpot's new drag and drop editor, this is kind of behind the hood of what that looks like. So you can see that all of this happens on the front end, very little code needed. HubSpot has a theme and template marketplace similar to WordPress's template marketplace with hundreds of templates that you can download and edit and update directly from the front end without having to dive in or get into any of the code on the back end, which is beautiful for building out some of these assets without feeling handicapped by needing to go to a developer or having to mess with any of this complex back end updates. So we're big fans of the ease of use on the HubSpot editor side. So, okay, getting into SEO features. Again, this is something people really are going to care about. When you're setting up your site, you want to not only have a site that is beautiful and set up for user experience where your users But you also want your users to be able to get to your site and find your site when searching for you. So important things to think of, and some important things that Google thinks of are obviously the technical SEO set up for your site as a whole, as well as kind of like your on-page technical SEO. So making sure that the back-end coding is clean, your page sizes are quick, and then obviously you've got all of the little details adding up: mobile optimization, speed, meta descriptions, keywords, all of that set up on your actual pages, so that way your site's going to rank well. So WordPress versus HubSpot, taking a look at how these compare. WordPress is highly customizable with their SEO, but you do need plugins like Yoast or Rank Math in order to access some of this customization, or to access like the full SEO capabilities of a platform like WordPress. It does require manual setup for that SEO performance piece. So again, you usually have to have someone who's at least a little more technical to get you set up with some of those initial SEO factors that are going to be important for your site. You can easily integrate third-party tools for some of these advanced analytics. And then you do have some additional flexibility, but you need some of that ongoing management. So the combination of direct access to code, plugin flexibility, and customization makes WordPress, or can make WordPress, more adaptable if you have a complex or like a highly specified SEO need, and you have someone who's very, very technical and can get in under the hood and really get in there and make a ton of complex customizations. For, I would say, 90% of use cases, if not more, HubSpot's going to make your built-in SEO 100 times easier, because they do have these tools baked in under the hood of the software. So again, HubSpot's got built-in tools with optimization suggestions for your SEO. They've got auto-generated mobile optimization and SSL integration. So any of your HubSpot hosted pages, any of the themes that are in the HubSpot marketplace go under pretty strict regulations to even be entered into the marketplace, to make sure that they are set up to be mobile friendly, speed friendly, have kind of the right technical SEO coding in place to even get into the marketplace, which is awesome. And then HubSpot's coded in the back end to kind of have some of this default mobile optimization taken care of for you, so you don't have to do additional programming in order to set that up. Really simplifies SEO for non-experts. So if you've got sales teams, if you've got marketing teams who are not SEO focused, creating pages, updating pages, adding assets or elements to your site, HubSpot's kind of checklist and on-page SEO metrics make it really easy for someone to be able to streamline. They also have some new AI SEO tools baked in, so you can just do AI meta descriptions and page titles, if nothing else. Which is a big win for your teams when you're empowering them to be able to create these pages while also still maintaining the technical SEO authority you want to on your site. HubSpot also is going to do a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to incorporating certain schema elements for your blog post, structured data, etc. So a lot of the HubSpot SEO is baked into the back end to set your site and your website pages up for success, without needing the external plugins that you would with WordPress. I'll show you, again, this is kind of an example of what that Yoast SEO plugin looks like if you're using WordPress. Curious what you guys' favorite WordPress SEO plugins are. If you guys are using WordPress and prioritizing SEO, what are your favorites? I know we've got some other WordPress users in here, so drop them in the comments. But I will also show you HubSpot has a ton of those, like I said, baked in SEO experiences. So you can see here on every single HubSpot page, if you go into your page details, you can see your search queries directly from the page. You can see actually some SEO recommendations per page. HubSpot breaks these down. I don't know if you guys have ever taken a look at these, but HubSpot will break them down by like difficulty level, if a marketer can do them, if you need a developer to do them, etc. So, and then also the impact. So you can see there, I go through it pretty quickly, but it'll say, hey, this is a high impact item that a marketer can complete for you, or it'll break it down by developer. So if it is something that's more technical, code heavy, it'll give you that insight there where you can then send this or work with a developer to make sure those updates get changed. They also have just that on-page checklist, which I run through in this screenshot when I get inside the page. So you can go inside of your page and make sure all of your pages have all your green checks. So you've got your page title, your meta description, your alt text, all of that just kind of in that, hey, check under the hood, make sure you're good to go before publishing a page, which is a good thing you can train your full team on. So that way you're making sure that this SEO is all set and ready to go before launching pages. So again, you can see that HubSpot is just built to be this all-in-one solution where they're going to have a lot of these features and functionalities baked in, user-friendly, and intuitive for you. HubSpot also has some really cool SEO scans that you can run directly inside of the HubSpot tool. And again, just get some of that additional data there. So some things HubSpot does natively to help with SEO, I just got a little list for us here is, obviously we've got the recommendations we talked about. They have topic clusters and pillar pages directly in HubSpot, which is going to help organize content into clusters, help with that internal linking. They've got their content strategy tool, which is going to identify relevant keywords and suggest topics based on volume and competition. Obviously, we've got our built-in SSL and security, so we don't have to deal with that with external plugins. And then mobile optimization, page performance insight, and then HubSpot has a built-in XML sitemap. So again, a lot of this baked in out of the bat. You don't have to deal with plugins to access these features. Okay, data and analytics. If you guys are in HubSpot, or using HubSpot for any kind of analytics or tracking, you're going to know that they win a little bit on this one as well. So WordPress, you can get access to some of that additional tracking with third-party plugins, but there's no built-in ROI or attribution tracking. You need additional plugins for A/B testing. Real-time tracking is available with Google Analytics, but it just needs some configuration there. And then there's no native CRM. Obviously, WordPress, again, is built primarily to be hosting sites. And that's what they do, and that's what they specialize in. And so they are not worrying about having anything else baked under the hood of the WordPress tool. Whereas HubSpot has got built-in attribution and ROI tracking for marketing performance. If any of you guys have sites or site pieces hosted inside of HubSpot, you know that they have access to more data and reporting than you could know what to do with. And if you're segmenting your leads and using the tool properly, you really, really have a powerful engine where you can take this data and use it to optimize and make a better user experience for your customers. They've got built-in A/B testing for landing pages and email campaigns, built-in real-time tracking and reporting. And then they also obviously have their native CRM integration with seamless data flow. So because everything in the HubSpot portal is all under one hood, you really can see this full picture of Megan Sullivan, the contact went to your page. She got there from organic search from this specific keyword. She went to this page. She watched this % of this video. She filled out this form. She identified herself as this certain type of lead. She's going to get this type of workflow. You can see that granular down to the contact level. And then you can also zoom out and see kind of deal stages. You can close the loop with your sales team if your sales team's also using the tool to kind of get this full picture of what's going on from the full customer journey. All directly inside HubSpot, and then nurture and generate leads and continue to kind of optimize what you're doing in the HubSpot platform from there. So powerful tool, powerful data analytics that you've got access to. So again, curious for you WordPress users, what you guys are using for your reporting, or if you have any reporting set up. Obviously, we've got a HubSpot and WordPress integration, which hopefully you guys all have set up. So you might be doing WordPress reporting, tracking inside of your HubSpot tool as well. So I know Google Sitekit, Monster Insights, Jetpack, and WordPress Statistics are some popular ones under the WordPress hood of what these integrations can look like. On the HubSpot side, again, you just got access to a whole heap of reporting from marketing, sales, customer service, down to that kind of contact level piece that I was talking about in the hood of HubSpot, where you can really see this whole customer journey. So all baked in directly to the tool. You've got access to all these analytics. Okay, so security and maintenance. This is actually one of the large reasons why Nextly as an agency decided to move away from Joomla WordPress external hosting, is just because our CEO got tired of getting calls at 2 a.m. in the morning saying that the site was hacked or someone broke in, or there's things going down or there's downtime with the site. So if you are in WordPress and you have had to deal with kind of the manual upkeep that is required with WordPress security and hosting, it can be a huge source of friction and a little bit frustrating. So in WordPress, the responsibility falls on the user to manage updates, backups, and security. It makes you a little bit more vulnerable to attacks if the plugins are not kept up to date. So you just need to make sure that you've got someone on the team who's managing, making sure that everything that you are using and implementing in the site is backed up and updated properly. And then, of course, you can always add some additional security plugins like WordFence to help with these efforts and make them a little less manual on the WordPress side. On the HubSpot side, John is validating that definitely security is a big reason why we get a lot of people coming to us saying, hey, we really need to move out of this platform. So HubSpot's actually going to be fully hosted with automatic updates, security patches, and backups, all completely done by HubSpot and the HubSpot network. So you don't even have to touch it. They boast a 99.95% uptime. I've been working here or working in the tool for about 8 years and have not once had a site be hacked or go down that I'm aware of. So can definitely attest that HubSpot is a big win. This is a big win for HubSpot for a lot of people. They've got built-in SSL website monitoring and security metrics, and then you're less risk of vulnerabilities because HubSpot is a closed ecosystem. So they do have some third-party integrations that you can enable within HubSpot, but the ecosystem itself, again, is going to be closed there. So getting into flexibility and customization, this is what we hear from a lot of people, or a lot of people are told, is that, hey, we hear HubSpot's a little bit more limiting, or we might not have as much access to the things we want to do within the HubSpot platform, whether that be design or whatever the case may be. We haven't necessarily found that to be true, but here are the differences from kind of some of the data points there. Both WordPress and HubSpot have free and paid or premium themes that are obviously, if you're using something like Elementor or Divi, a little bit easier to use. HubSpot's all going to be on that drag and drop editor, so very, very user friendly from that end. WordPress, you're able to customize your HTML, CSS, and your PHP. HubSpot, you can customize HTML, CSS, and your Hubble for templates. So if you are more technical minded, you do have a little bit more customization because HubSpot hosts some of that security for you. If you really want to get in and go in and control some of those pieces, you would be better off doing that in a tool like WordPress if you're highly, highly technical. So again, you got more control over technical aspects like choosing server configurations or CDN setups. And then also WordPress has a little bit more e-commerce flexibility through WooCommerce. HubSpot does integrate with tools like Shopify. HubSpot also has HubSpot payments, so they have some experiences set up. But WordPress's e-commerce kind of like flexibility through WooCommerce sometimes wins out in that space. Again, HubSpot hosts your site, taking care of speed, security, and scalability, so you don't need to worry about configuration on that front. So again, if you're highly, highly technical, WordPress might win out on this one with some of the flexibility, but we have not seen that be a limitation compared to the benefits you get from ease of use and also the uptime that comes with not choosing your own server configuration or setting up your CDN internally and needing to deal with all of that. Okay, pricing, again, fairly comparable. WordPress pricing is going to probably sneak up on you on the back end because it's an open source software, but your costs are going to greatly depend on your hosting, your theme price, your plugins, and then developer assistance that you're going to need to potentially manage upkeep with the tool. Obviously, you can scale in cost just depending on your functionality needs. HubSpot's going to be anywhere from 25. You can actually, there's a lot of free HubSpot tools if you guys are not using HubSpot at all and curious about anything I'm saying. I would recommend kind of getting in there and playing with some of HubSpot's free tools. But depending on the plan chosen, it's going to include your hosting, your security, your CRM and built-in features. And it's going to greatly reduce your need for kind of those third-party tools or extra development because of the ease of use that you've got within HubSpot. So Higher upfront cost possibly, but includes a lot of the tools that you might be paying for. So if you're paying for an external email provider tool, or if you're paying for some external kind of Yoast SEO or any of those, HubSpot's going to have that a little bit more natively baked in the hood, so you can get rid of some of those costs as well. Again, they're both going to have kind of tiered pricing based on your company size and feature needs. But that is the price point breakdown for both of those pieces. So that's kind of the overview of the main sections, categories that we've got here. I'm seeing some people saying yes, that they found a win in HubSpot, just in ease of use. We hear that across the board. What's best for me, WordPress or HubSpot? So I know a lot of you guys are currently WordPress users. In general, I feel like if you've got a technical team that really wants full control of all of the elements and can take full advantage of all of the elements, that you might have access to editing, like your CDN, like some of the more complex technical SEO backend setup, you might want to use a tool like WordPress. If you require extensive customization options for any of your plugins or themes, you have a very large e-commerce site, if you have a technical expertise or access to developers for custom coding. So if your CEO or someone on your team is highly technical and loves to get in there and create a bunch of custom code, WordPress might be a good platform to utilize that team member. If you prefer to manage your own security and backups, you're going to want to go with WordPress. And then again, if you prefer to choose your own hosting provider or server configurations, WordPress might be a better fit. I'd be curious to hear from some of you guys whose sites are still on WordPress, why you're choosing to host your site on WordPress. If you have anything to add to this list, why WordPress ended up being a better fit for you at the time of choosing your hosting CMS. But again, in general, that's kind of what we see WordPress being the best fit for. Obviously, again, we are not completely unbiased here, but we believe HubSpot might be a better fit if you're someone who really wants an all-in-one platform. So you're using your CMS, CRM, and marketing tools, and or you're planning on growing into that. HubSpot really is built to grow and to scale with you as a company. So even if you start with your website inside of HubSpot and then expand to creating some of these more automation, lead nurturing, segmentation, CRM experiences, HubSpot is really going to set you up to scale. If you want a user-friendly drag and drop website builder that your whole team can use from sales to marketing, if you want built-in marketing automation for lead nurturing and email campaigns, all going to be directly with HubSpot. Seamless integration with a CRM that's also hosted in HubSpot for tracking those customer integrations, so you can do really quality scoring of your leads for your sales team. Hey, has this person visited this site more than 10 times? Have they completed this? Are they marked as this? You can create some of those really complex lead scoring to help set your sales team up for success. Again, if your teams are in HubSpot, you can close the loop and say, okay, this contact became a customer, and you can then backtrack and see how they got there and see some commonalities in their journey to make better and more informed data-driven decisions. With a tool like HubSpot that really gives you this full picture. If you prefer having someone else manage your security and maintenance for you, so you are not having websites with downtime or getting hacked. If you need real-time reporting and analytics, HubSpot's going to be the place for you. And then again, if you want to easily create landing pages, forms, all of that good stuff without using external tools, we think HubSpot is the winner there. Again, would love to hear if you guys have differing opinions why that is on that front. But I know all of you guys are at least using HubSpot in some capacity, so you know the value in the tool. Why HubSpot wins for us as an agency. 20% of people said that HubSpot is easier to scale traffic compared to WordPress. We've seen that consistently. We do a lot of migrating people who have sites in WordPress and we're redesigning them in HubSpot. We see consistently this happen where their traffic is increasing. Obviously, that goes along with site strategy and site cleanup in a lot of these redesigns and rebuilds. And then also people have said switching from WordPress to HubSpot, it's 25% better at increasing conversion rates compared to WordPress. And I think that's probably just because the ease of use to actually set up some of these conversion opportunities and to continue nurturing your leads inside the tool. Again, unified customer platform. It's really all under one house. It's built for growth. So WordPress is built for building websites. HubSpot really is built to be an engine that's going to fuel growth and digital growth for your agency. And then obviously worry-free maintenance is a big win for us on our end. Not to mention, if you do not regularly attend these Content Hub meetings, we get all into all of the additional features that HubSpot has, including AI, multi-language content assist, podcast video hosting, analytics, SEO, all of the cool tools that are baked into the HubSpot Content Hub. We normally are talking all about that. And if you guys have recently attended HubSpot's Inbound, you know that there's a lot of cool features and updates that are coming out with Content Hub, which we're really excited about. I'm sure that we will do a little event or office hours all about that shortly. But yeah, just really, really powerful tools to make it easier on the marketer and the sales team to be able to leverage and create and produce content, nurturing assets, follow-up materials, etc., all under one hood, all under one platform in an easy-to-use interface. So we have seen again and again HubSpot generating a ton of success. This hopefully will be particularly useful to you guys, and I'm sure some of you guys are taking advantage of a lot of what's I'm about to talk about with if you're using both solutions. So if you are maybe have your site hosted in HubSpot, and then maybe you're just using our WordPress, and then maybe you're just using HubSpot for your CRM. If you maybe have the HubSpot tracking code installed on your WordPress site, if you maybe have some HubSpot forms on your WordPress site, there are a lot of ways where these two tools can play well together. And you can utilize some of the powerful features and some of the really cool AI features that HubSpot's been coming out with to power your WordPress sites and assets. So some ways you can do this are, and hopefully if you guys are here and are using WordPress at all in conjunction with HubSpot, you've got the WordPress HubSpot integration set up on your end. You've got some additional tracking funneling into your HubSpot account as well. So you can integrate HubSpot's free WordPress plugin to capture leads with HubSpot Forms. So you can actually swap all of the forms on your WordPress site to HubSpot Forms. So that way you can take advantage of HubSpot's segmenting and nurturing directly from the HubSpot platform. So on your WordPress site, you can have a form that says, hey, schedule a call. What services are you interested in? And then you can get all of that data go directly into HubSpot, where you can create follow-up workflows that say, hey, if someone's scheduled a call and they're interested in this specific service, we want to make sure that they get added to this nurturing drip, or they get this specific follow-up email, etc. Using HubSpot Forms call to actions in your WordPress site. Again, you want to be making sure that you're using HubSpot's tracking code to track activity and sync that data with HubSpot CRM, so you can still kind of cookie track me through HubSpot and get my contact into your HubSpot CRM to, again, follow my journey and do some of that more closed loop reporting. You can leverage HubSpot's email marketing and automation to nurture those leads. So again, if you're not already doing that, having a clean database and then setting up some nurturing drip campaigns inside of HubSpot, it's going to be a big win for you as well. Create landing pages and blogs on HubSpot for specific campaigns. So a cool thing that I think potentially is, okay, so this is actually a really cool feature that just recently came out of beta from HubSpot called Content Embeds. And this is a tool that HubSpot has where you can actually create pieces of content inside the HubSpot platform and then embed that directly into your WordPress site using the HubSpot WordPress integration. And what you can do here, you can see how this becomes powerful in this little video example here. This is just a piece of rich text content where we're leveraging HubSpot's smart rules to create a piece of smart content for customers that we have associated through our HubSpot database as customers. So we have associated these customers by their lifecycle stage. And what we're doing on our WordPress site now is we're embedding this smart content. So we're saying, hey, anyone who we don't have associated as a customer, show them this default content. But if they are associated as a customer, let's show them this different content that's going to be more relevant to them, that we have access to that data inside of our HubSpot CRM, but not necessarily in WordPress. Now you can be leveraging things like smart content, things like just unified content embeds using HubSpot's drag and drop ease of editor to create sections of content, to create areas of modules with content that you're then embedding directly onto your WordPress site. And the marketing team can be updating in HubSpot directly. So content embed, if you guys have not explored that, curious if any of you guys are using content embeds inside your WordPress site or have any cool use cases for these now. Really powerful tool to leverage some of the data you're getting from the CRM on your WordPress site directly, and or just creating some content, using it a little bit of an easier drag and drop editor, and then popping that content into WordPress, where you can then manage it from there and it will populate on the front end. So content embeds, very cool. We're really excited about this in the HubSpot end to kind of be able to better make use of some of the data that we are gathering through HubSpot if you're a little bit more handicapped with a site like WordPress. A lot of people don't know this, but HubSpot will actually do a WordPress, sorry, I'm getting a little, my computer's gonna die. Let me plug myself in. Okay, we're back. HubSpot will actually do a template setup for you. So let me actually just pop this link in the chat. If you are WordPress for your primary site, but you are wanting to, pop this in here. But you are wanting to maybe leverage HubSpot for some specific campaigns, for some specific landing pages. Maybe you want to host your entire blog inside of HubSpot so you can take advantage of some of HubSpot's AI blog content writing, some of HubSpot's SEO tools. For $250, HubSpot will actually match the style of your template and set you up with some system pages, error pages, a blog template page, a website page, and a landing page that all looks and feels very cohesive to your existing site, that you can then start using HubSpot's drag and drop editor to be creating content on. So you can see that this back image in the background is the main site that is hosted externally, not on HubSpot. And then this front page is a very cohesive landing page experience. You can see our little HubSpot sprocket up in the corner. This is hosted on HubSpot. And it's a very cohesive experience because it matches our site branding, et cetera. So if you don't have any pieces of content that you're currently hosting in HubSpot, I would recommend this as a potential solution to kind of give you the best of both worlds, to have some of that flexibility as you're creating specific campaigns. And then you can do some of that lead nurturing directly from HubSpot because you're getting those leads on any landing pages you're creating directly through the system, where you can create that follow-up nurturing and utilize those experiences as well. If your site is entirely in WordPress and you are ready to move to something like HubSpot, HubSpot also offers a full website migration. So I'm going to pull this up here as well. So it's a $500 one-time setup, and then it's $20 per page. But if you love your site, you love your site structure and layout, you just want it to be in the HubSpot platform, you can actually contract HubSpot in 2 to 4 weeks, depending on site size. There are some complexities that they might nuance some of these pieces for, but they will actually copy and paste your existing website into the HubSpot Content Hub platform. And then you can launch your website as is, and now you can utilize HubSpot's full features. So very cool. We would also love to work with you. We're an agency, so if you need additional support, migrating, moving content over, setting anything up, doing a full redesign, love to have conversations with you there as well. But HubSpot has some really cool back-end features that a lot of people don't know about for a fairly low cost to get you set up to start creating some content inside of Content Hub. And with that, I am going to leave us open for questions. I know I have one question already about coupons. Let me pull this up. We had no luck finding a HubSpot serializable coupon solution for 5 years ago. Okay, yes, curious some specifics there, Alex. You might need to look into this, but I know HubSpot, we've had some workarounds that the marketing team has come up with to create kind of this type of experience, but again, might need to know a little bit more specifics about your use case. So if you want to email me, I would love to help think through how we can maybe solve for something like that through HubSpot. I know we've done it before in the past, but it's definitely not as much of an out-of-the-box solution as you might find with some of those WordPress integrations when it comes to coupons and setting up some of that more e-commerce direct one-for-one pieces. I know someone also mentioned something about memberships. HubSpot actually has done a lot of work to their membership experiences. So it's fairly comprehensive at this time. If you haven't checked it out recently, hoping to use memberships for a dealer portal. Tori is saying, yep, yeah. So memberships is a very, very cool experience through HubSpot that you can do. You can actually do a lot with now. They've done a lot of work to their membership experience. Is smart content available on HubSpot directly? Yes, it is. So if you are using HubSpot content pieces, I can show you how you can navigate to this smart content directly here. Let me pull up an account and I will give you just a quick little real-time use case on our site. Some modules you won't have access to smart content in, so kind of depending on how your site is set up, there might be some different use cases here. Let me make sure I've got my screen sharing. So what you can do is get into your site pages, and I'll show you how and where you can find smart content. Again, if you're using content embeds, you're going to find this under content embeds. So that'll be a little different if you're on a WordPress site. But if you are just on a HubSpot hosted site, you can actually get into a section, and this is just a rich text section. So if I go into my editor and you see this smart roles option here, here's where you can add smart roles, and HubSpot has a ton of cool features of how and where you can utilize these smart roles. So you can do it based on list memberships. You can say, are you guys seeing my latest screen here on your end? Looks like I'm frozen on my homepage here. Oh, here we go. Share this tab instead. Yep, that might be helpful. Okay, so if you are inside of your rich text here, again, you can just go to the smart roles and hit add. And this is where you can see all of the different types of smart roles that you can create. So for example, if someone's on mobile, if you want to show them a shortened version of your content or a different type of content, you can just select the device type, and then you can add roles for different device types. You can also add roles for life cycle stage, list membership. You can add roles for what country someone's coming from, where they're coming from. So if you know they're coming from a paid ad, you can show them specific content to that page, obviously preferred language. And then if they're coming from a query parameter, you can do that as well. So really cool tools if you've got clean data that you can leverage and kind of accomplish and make happen. Any HubSpot website themes in the HubSpot marketplace you would recommend? Yes, all of them do fairly well. The one thing I will say, and I will just go ahead and hop into the marketplace here, we can take a look together. I would recommend testing any of your templates in the preview. So take a look at the template or theme preview in the actual desktop page, test it. Take a look at it on mobile, see how it's looking on mobile, and then also run the template or theme preview through a website grader. So HubSpot has a website grader that I would recommend kind of running it through so you can see some of the base themes. They are all set up with pretty strict rules, but as you know, not all themes are created equally. So you can always filter by ratings. So you can see kind of themes that are highly rated, etc. Is a nice thing to filter by. Another thing I would look for, as well as testing the actual theme, is taking a look at how many modules you have access to within a theme. So sometimes a theme will have, for example, 30 pages, but all of the pages consist of like 5 modules. So take a look at how many modules that you're actually getting. So that's going to give you more flexibility. The more different modules you have to work with, you can create essentially an endless amount of pages. But my best advice would just kind of be, make sure you're testing the preview link fairly thoroughly to see if it's going to be set up for speed, et cetera, on that end. Great question. Thanks for joining, guys. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. Again, we do try to do this fairly regularly. If you have specific questions about WordPress, HubSpot connection, and or about just HubSpot Content Hub in general, please shoot me an email or pop it in the chat. If there's topics you'd like to deep dive into, we really want to make these sessions. I know you guys are taking time away from family and getting work done to spend with us. So I want to send you away with some action items to help, make your life easier and help level up your marketing. Thank you for the questions and thanks for coming. I will hang out here till 5. If there are any other questions that roll in, I'll keep an eye out. Again, I will pop my email in the chat if you want to send me a question specifically. And I will also send a follow-up email with this recording, as well as some links to some of the resources that are referred to in today's presentation. So you'll get that as a part of the follow-up for this event.